It is 7 o'clock and time for the competition. Your chance to win £300,000 in tax-free cash. Andy has the details.
Well, good morning, Britain. It's 7:03 and 17 seconds.
And it's good to be back, especially today, because our main headline is that schools in England will leave your home to visit a person receiving treatment in a hospital or staying in a hospital.
Spewing abuse at Prince Charles, Marcus Rashford, Captain Tom and so on. Just shut up. Honestly, the viciousness of this abuse towards people, sometimes in their most difficult moments, it defies belief. Some of it defies belief to read what people are prepared to do.
That's the nature of that social media platform. That actually, there's something so unpleasant about some of the discourse on Twitter. I think sometimes it's just best to switch it off, step away.
You saw the impact.
And leave it behind.
Captain Tom's daughter
I know,
was talking
exactly.
about the impact.
Awful.
Horrendous. Never showed Captain Tom, obviously,
but
some of the things.
Don't you think that's unique, though, to those social media platforms? People don't say those things to
I'm
each other.
Well, I'm testing them.
People don't come up to me in the street. For instance, we were just talking about the COVID vaccine. When I tweeted last week, if you're offered the vaccine, please take it. I got told I was being paid by the government to promote something which was untested and unverified. Full disclosure, I'm not paid by anyone to promote the vaccine, for goodness sake. But I only get that on Twitter and the abuse that comes on Twitter. People don't come up to me in the street and go, you're paid by the government.
Of course they don't.
Something.
Of course they don't. But I had a death threat made to me and my family last week, put on my eldest son's Instagram, very direct. This is not a promise. This is going to happen.
Absolutely.
We're going to find you. We're going to kill you. And then also to my son. And I decided, no, I'm not having this. Sorry. You can have legitimate discourse on Twitter. It can be punchy. You can hold public figures to account. You can say what you want. You can have opinions. But you're not allowed to issue death threats to people. So I called the police. The police came around, took it very seriously. Thank you to the police. They're investigating this. I also got in touch with Facebook. Know some top people there because they own Instagram. And I said, look, it's just unacceptable. They've been cooperating as well. And I'm going to go through the process and see what happens. Yeah. Because I want to know, can you find these people? You know, they've had their account deleted. OK, but who is this person who felt that it was acceptable to issue a death threat on Instagram to my son? Yeah, my son's fine about it. He's been my son a long time, obviously, and he's used to the rough and tumble of public life vicariously through me. However, it's just a line crossed. Yep. And it's got to stop.
And can I say, I think it's important for you to make sure that process is fully exhausted. Yeah. Not just for you, which is important, but also for people who don't have your sort of influence.
Totally.
Because these things are happening to people without the same resources. You
can't make a death threat to somebody in the street.
You can't make it to anyone.
You can't go up to someone on the street and say, I'm going to kill you, I'm definitely going to kill you, because that is a criminal offence. But you can do it on social media.
I can't bear it.
So I'm going to do it for all the people who are getting these sort of threats. Yep. And have no recourse to do it. I'm going to push this through right to the end. And I'm going to find out who did that threat. And then they're going to be held to account, and they'll go to court if necessary, and I will appear in court if necessary. And that's what we'll keep doing every time one of these morons thinks that's OK. Because it's not OK. It's not OK to do that. Yeah.
There's a line when it comes to freedom of speech.
That's not freedom of speech. It's a criminal threat to kill. I know. So you're not covered by freedom of speech?
No, I know. But it's extraordinary how people can just delete their account.
Yeah. Well, let's see how brave and bold. Let's see how brave they are when we actually track them down, which is going to happen. As they said in Taken, we will find you.
Yeah, but let's not finish that sentence.
Well, we know how Taken ended. It's not going to end like that, but it may end up in a courtroom. And it may end up in a fine, and it may end up in public exposure. And I hope it does, to hold these people to proper account. Anyway, coming up in Good Morning Britain.
Yes, schools are going to reopen. Minister's plans to get us out of lockdown.
First, to get the news, travel, and weather where you are.
See you in a moment. So let's have a look at the front pages this morning. Stay at home. You're watching Good Morning Britain on ITV. We'll see you in a moment. Well, you talk about the stress of doing Mastermind. Let me take you over to the Icelandic version of University Challenge, because the latest edition saw one of the contestants rage quit because his team failed to hit the buzzer before their opposing team. Nick, thank you.
Well, 21-year-old Jasmine Harrison from North Yorkshire has officially become the youngest woman ever to row solo across the Atlantic. Tanker coming your way at one stage. I think I was the massive tanker in that description. How to be a massive tanker live on air.
Marvellous.
Not listen to what your colleague is saying and then ask exactly the same question because you haven't been paying attention. I was kind of gripped by the detail, actually. It's an amazing achievement, isn't it? Anyway, well done her.
Tanker involved in that interview.
I've already called myself a massive tanker.
Let's get the news, travel and weather where you are, and we'll see you in a moment.